Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back. I hope you've enjoyed your afternoon workshops, and they're wonderful. Please remember, I know you're not able to attend all of them. You're one person, can't be in multiple places. However, remember, at the end of the summit, at the conclusion, 7 to 10 days after, business days, that is, all the presentations will be made available to you at the DEI Summit website. That is DEISummit.com. So please do not hesitate when they get there to go and watch every single one of them. It's all good stuff. And I'm just going to hopefully encourage you guys all to do this, but I'm going to be taking this stuff with me and sharing it with other people that I know are who are just hungry to see change makers operating in the world and change makers working together. So please share on social channels. Remember, your social channels are DEI Summit. So hashtag DEI Summit 2022 and hashtag Change Makers 2022 as well. Please post, put those things in there. And here's a couple for me. I just want to pass these out to you. I love what was said with be the same person privately, publicly, and personally, because most people get stuck publicly. Wow, that is so strong. How about the ownership part of it? Being a person that's a solution building person, becoming a part of what attracts and retains the talent, like being that person. And then also listening is key and can really help to drive the change that ultimately we're seeking and that we want. So please, in the chat window, drop in some of that on our track A here. Put in anything that you have as an aha moment, a takeaway, or something that would inspire others. So on behalf of the Greenville Chamber, we are so grateful for all presenters who have generously partnered with us for the 6th annual DEI Summit. And it would not be possible without our presenters and moderators, nor without the generous support of our sponsors. So at this time, we'd like to recognize our sponsors once again through a short sponsor reel video. So please direct your attention accordingly. Thanks again to our wonderful sponsors. They're great. And if you want to show some love, put it in the chat window. Thank you, sponsors. A shout out to them. They are fantastic. And once again, this would not happen without them and the sponsors and you for participating. Thank you so much, our presenters, our support sponsors, and you, the participant. But we've reached the point in today's conference where we're about to hear from our closing presenter, Don Gordon of the Riley Institute at Furman University. So sit back, take a look at this video, and we'll be right back.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's my pleasure and my honor to welcome you to the 18th Annual Upstate Diversity Leadership Awards. This is always extremely inspiring to me because it celebrates the good work that members of the Upstate community are doing every day to lift up the lives of others. The individuals and organizations being recognized today demonstrate what can be accomplished through dedication and tireless effort. Important to emphasize, I think, that the Upstate Diversity Leadership Award presentations is the first and the largest event of its kind in our state. And the Upstate should take great pride in leading on such a way, such effort for 18 years. The event was launched from a capstone community action project known as Inclusion Infusion, which was developed by participants in a 2004 Diversity Leaders Initiative class. Since 2003, the Riley Institute at Furman's Diversity Leaders Initiative has equipped leaders with the tools and perspectives needed to leverage diversity as a way to improve organizational outcomes and drive social and economic progress in South Carolina. In addition to engaging in focused, facilitated conversations and experiential learning, DLI class participants work in small cross-sector groups on a project to address a specific need in the community. The Inclusion Infusion group decided to create this particular event in the community as their capstone project in the hope that it would inspire more good work to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion in all parts of the Upstate community. In the spirit of collaboration, the Greenville Chamber and the Riley Institute have continued to work together to present these awards each year for 18 years. It is encouraging to see the impact that this event, along with 155 other community action projects done in the Upstate, have had over time. So now let's turn our attention to our outstanding winners. The winner of the William T. Bill T. Wiley Valued Life for School Excellence incorporates valued practices of diversity into its vision and mission and promotes these principles beyond the walls of the school, demonstrating that all students, faculty, and staff are important and have the potential to succeed. Congratulations to this year's winner, Greenville Early College.
My name is Marjan Ford, and I'm the principal of Greenville Early College. And Greenville Early College is a college access program within Greenville County Schools. We are set up to target students who will be the first in their family to graduate from high school or go to college. And we work with them to support them academically so that they can access college while still in high school. Currently, we are really small, and that's by intentionality. Our goal is to create a really small but inclusive and supportive environment so that kids take great steps in terms of developing their courage and skills to be able to advocate for themselves and to really take on the challenge of doing something that maybe nobody else has done in their lives. In general, we have lots of extra staff. We probably have a really small student-teacher ratio, and we don't break our ratios like 1 to 15. And that is on purpose so that people can dig down deep into getting to know a student and knowing all of their ins and outs. Additionally, we have support from On Track Greenville, which is brought to us by the United Way. And as a result of On Track and the grants therein, we receive additional supports, like we have an On Track facilitator that's there to work on any of the attendance, behavior, course performance needs that the students might have, and we sort of triage their needs to provide them with wraparound services. We have a mental health counselor that's provided to us through that On Track grant that comes from Greenville Mental Health to provide support services for any of their social emotional needs that might come up. We also have a Communities of Schools person that comes to us from On Track, and Communities of Schools does just what you think they do in terms of making sure that the kids go out into the community and see how they add value to the Greenville community, but also bring the community in to create opportunity and space for kids to learn in a new and inviting way. Outside of that, we have really great teachers. We have great support from Greenville County Schools, and in general, we function like every other public high school in the county. So this year, our theme for learning is Back to the Future, and part of that talks about how we are going back or sort of slimming down. We live in a time where technology is prevalent, where you can find out everything that you need on social media. And a little bit, we have lost that personal connection. So our teachers are going back to developing personal connections, that we're using tried and true teaching methodology in terms of helping kids make connections both to the content and to each other. I remember getting like this warm fuzzy feeling when I was in school, and I knew which teachers cared about me. And so that really is for those people that I performed. And so part of our back to school or back to the future initiative is centered around that, making sure that kids have good, viable relationships with the people that are providing them with instruction, that they feel like someone believes in them, pushes them. Teachers feel like that they can really, really teach students, and that you don't have to have all of the bells and whistles operating all at the same time, that it's more important for the kids to have an intimate relationship with the content than it is for them to be able to do a TikTok video to explain that they know a math concept. And so we're trying to find a nice balance between good instructional strategies and using technology to elevate their learning. Also, just like in the movie Back to the Future, we're trying to remember that we don't want to correct or try to go back and change anything that's happened before. We are using that to elevate our platform. We needed all of those things to occur in order for us to continue to dream big and to take on the challenges that present themselves. We are actively trying to prepare kids for a future that we don't even know about, and it's important that they feel like they can communicate with others, that they can collaborate. We want our kids to have a civic-minded approach to the world and to think about others as they engage. For sure, just because we're part of Greenville County Schools, the G+ initiative is important, so we're expecting for kids to walk out of our building with some type of national or state certification. And of course, because we're in early college, they're gonna have college credit. And so that really is what it means to be back to the future, is to not forget the things that have worked and that are working to keep us connected to each other and to learning, but also to prepare for a world that we've never even encountered before. I don't know if it was by design or just by happenstance, but we have a really, really diverse group of students. We have students that come from some of the most impoverished places within Greenville County, and we have students who come from places that are high performing and have great affluence. And the little community we have created really has taken on this sort of culture where it's okay to be who you are. And I think that at the very core of that is because of the diversity that we have. We sort of have a little running joke that if you are quirky, or if you march to your own beat, then the early college is for you. Additionally, because of the types of supports that we receive from our various community friends, we have been able to add people to our building that look a lot like our students. We have men that come into our building that look like the boys that we serve. And they are men who are doing great things in their community, who are leaders and business owners. So the kids have the opportunity to see someone who looks like them doing something that's not just chilling. We have really tried to create an environment in our space where kids not only feel like they are a part of the inner workings of our building, but also that they see representation around them all the time that reminds them that there are lots of people who believe in you, there are lots of people who expect great things from you, and that just because nobody may have done it before doesn't mean that you cannot do it. And we know that it's scary, but we got you. We have your back, and that there will be people to cheer you on all the way. In addition to that, I feel like I've been given great latitude. So our building is run by dynamic women of color. We have my entire sort of leadership team. It consists of women of color. And I think that speaks volumes. Traditionally, high schools are run by men, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I do believe that there's something to be said for a group of people who feel empowered to make change. And so I love the fact that my students get to see a Hispanic woman in our office controlling the activities of the day. Our head guidance counselor is a woman of color. Our head custodian is a woman of color. So all the people who make decisions and make power moves are strong women. And even though we have varying jobs and varying responsibilities, I want my kids to be able to see that they could see themselves in any type of position of leadership. One of our first kids to go to school last year, she went early and was going on her own. So she was going to Greenville Tech sort of by herself. And she encountered a couple of issues on the campus. Super shy, very unassuming, quiet, but she encountered an issue with her bill. Now, her bill is covered. We try to remove that obstacle for students. So there shouldn't have been an issue in face-to-face. And it just was a miscommunication. but she felt like she should advocate for herself, and she tried. But when she got to a place in that scenario where she felt like she had done all that she could do, she came back to us and said, this is what I've done, this is what I've done. And in her casual conversation with her friends, I was able to overhear her tell them, well, yeah, I had this problem, but I know Miss Ford is gonna take care of it. And she told me that if they didn't get it straight, she was gonna go with me back. And so just the fact that she wasn't willing to quit, she felt like, I'm gonna tell Miss Ford, or I'm gonna tell someone in this building, and they're gonna help me resolve my issue. I think that the power of what we do at the early college means that kids are in a space where they feel comfortable, where they feel empowered, where they feel like their voice is heard, and that they can add value to themselves and others.
The recipient of the Outstanding High School Student Award is viewed as a diversity champion and demonstrates a leading role in promoting diversity in the school environment or within the community. The 2022 winner is Tatiana James of J.L. Mann High School.
My name is Tatiana James. I am currently a senior at J.L. Mann High School, and I am the student body president for the school year. Next year, I plan on attending North Carolina A&T State University to major in criminal justice for 4 years, and then I plan on attending USC for law school. So during the 2021 through 2022 school year, I led an effort to get an African American history class started at my school. I started this with going to my administrator, who is over the history department, and he explained to me that we didn't have an African American history course, but we did have an African American literature course that could be offered. He tasked me with finding a teacher that would be willing to teach this course that was in the English department, and also finding students that would be interested in taking this course, and so I did just that. I found a teacher who was willing to teach the course, and she was more than excited to teach it. And then I put out a Google form for about a week and a half that got a lot of students' attention, and they were excited to take the course as well. They put their grade levels and said why they would want to take it, and that they were very excited to take the course. From there, my administrator gave me the approval for the course to be admitted as an elective on the ballot list. And at the end of last year's school year, students were able to request this course to be an elective for this current school year, in which the class is currently efficient and it is growing, and the students in the class have great remarks about it. They love it. They're currently working on a bibliography assignment where they have been chosen, or they have to pick a figure from an abolitionist, an African American abolitionist, and do a report on them. I feel like it is very important for students to be advocates for inclusion and diversity, especially in the school setting, to make sure that everybody is included in every decision that is made within the school. I am student body president in my school, and I am currently the only person of color on a student council of about 45 students. And I feel like that is very important because I am tasked with making decisions that will benefit every group of the school, rather than there just being one group of people who make decisions for that direct group. I have connected with a lot of people whom I didn't know when I came into the school. I've made a lot of new friends just connecting and seeing their perspectives on things and getting their ideas and opinions, and making sure that I implement that in the decisions that we make as a council. It is very important for leaders, especially advocates, to be the voice for those who are not able to voice their own opinions, and I feel like that is the true task of being a leader within your school, is to speak for those who cannot speak for themselves.
In the Outstanding College Student category, the winner is viewed as a diversity champion and demonstrates a leading role in promoting diversity in the campus environment or within the community. Congratulations, Jaden Beek from Southern Wesleyan University.
Hello, my name is Jaden Beek. I'm a graduate of Southern Wesleyan University, where I received my BS in psychology with a concentration in criminal justice in December of 2021. I am currently enrolled in Southern Wesleyan University's Master's in Counseling program. and I'm looking forward to moving into trauma counseling once I graduate. I serve in 2 part-time positions as an admissions counselor for a gap year program called One Life and as a care coordinator for a nonprofit that combats sex trafficking in the Upstate called Switch. To serve is to stand unified in our diversity. Standing together in our differences is what makes us strong. I had the joy of witnessing this truth firsthand as I fulfilled my capacity as treasurer of Southern Wesleyan University's Multicultural Club. In this role, I was able to champion the importance of recognizing and celebrating our differences by helping to organize and being fiscally responsible for a Hispanic Heritage Festival, a Canada Day celebration, Black History Month Festival, and an international festival. Each of these events proved to be campus-wide successes through which the value of diversity and inclusion felt profoundly tangible. To serve is to promote peace and conflict resolution. We live in a time in which conflict and challenges seem to be around every single corner with no solution in sight. Last summer, I was invited to join Rotary District 7750's Planning Committee for their Peace and Conflict Resolution Conference on Unconscious Bias. Words fall short of encapsulating what an incredible honor it was to plan and to participate in this conference. I was granted the opportunity to promote the voices of tomorrow's leaders for their experiences and efforts today. In the final session of the conference, I was able to host a youth interview panel titled Youth Leading the Way, in which a group of 4 passionate, intelligent, and intensely driven Upstate students shared their stories of confronting and combating unconscious biases in their own lives and in the lives of others. Each student represented a diverse cultural background and embodied the heart of placing service above themselves. The work I completed as a part of the planning committee and through my session afforded me invaluable experience and a deep passion for the fight against unconscious bias that will last me a lifetime. It is important that young adults begin the work of becoming diversity and inclusion advocates because as leaders of the future, it is our moral responsibility and utmost obligation to contribute to a society wherein all those around us, regardless of ethnicity, creed, economic status, or identity, are permitted the space to thrive in their pursuit of purpose.
To be recognized in the outstanding business category, a business must be internally model diversity management and serve as a community diversity champion. This year's winner is Brassfield and Gorey.
Hey, I'm Ben Barfield with Brassfield and Gorey, and if I had to really state who B&G is, we are a large commercial contractor. We do everything that the city is allowing us to do. The relationships here have been a huge blessing for us. When we came here, we've been here for 30 years, and then just building downtown Greenville seemed to be our niche for a while, and we have grown outside of that, which has been nice. But just to serve this community in a deeper way has been a huge blessing for us. Having these two here today allows me to see that there is a much bigger purpose. Sometimes you can get stuck in the building world, and we always say we're builders, but building relationships and building people are more important to us. So this D&I initiative and having these two to be able to show how trusted relationships can really work in the long run has been a huge benefit. So appreciate y'all being here. So diversity and inclusion means a lot to us. Our company preaches integrity, so to do the right thing and to follow through with it is huge for us. Not only for the minority community, when we first came to town, trying to make relationships with James right off the bat, a trusted relationship that was key for us. That only grew into supporting Ebony to the next level where she needs to be getting as a company. So not only these two, but also women in construction. It's a big part for us as a company. It's fun for me. I've been here for 27 years. When I first started, there weren't a whole lot of females in construction in general. Now today we have 30% of our staff is female. and over 200 of those are in operations alone. We also have an operational women's network because we not only say we have to recruit women, but we also want to support them and build them up to the next level. So a lot of good things going on within Brassfield and Gordy.
I had the privilege now of working with Ben and his team at Brassfield and Gordy for over 10 years. This has been a relationship that I couldn't have dreamed of. When Ben first got to Greenville, I'm gonna get through this without crying. When Ben first got to Greenville, we had a chance to sit down and he said, let's figure out how to get you involved in this project. And that really meant a lot to me. It was our first substantial project in Greenville that we were able to work on and get pulled in because of his attitude around making an investment in the community. For myself, for women-owned businesses, for other small businesses, you need an opportunity to be able to get going. And you need an advocate, somebody that's gonna step up for you. The other thing I love about what Ben and his team do is that it wasn't just centered around a project. So even on projects that they haven't been involved in, they've always wanted to make sure that we're successful and that we're building a sustainable business. He takes time regularly out of his schedule to sit down with me and say, how are you doing? And even before we get to how I'm doing on the business, he wants to know how I'm doing as a person and as a leader. So they're builders of community, they're builders of businesses, they're builders of relationships. And this is a relationship that I value tremendously, even beyond the work that we do together. Along the way, they've met us where we've been at and have allowed us to be able to grow and find greater and larger opportunities as we've grown. But when we first met, our company was 3 people. And they carved out a piece of a job for us to be involved in at that level that we didn't have the bonding capacity for. It would have took me a lifetime to try to build to that level, but they plugged us in and got us involved so that we could see how a project worked from beginning to finish at that scale. Today, we're 34 people, and the reason that matters to me is that with the opportunity that you gave us to be able to get started, we've been able to make an impact in the community in 33 families. And so that's a tremendous investment in the community. I want to say thank you.
Working with B&G has been quite an interesting feat. I mean, we were brought to the table when I first came into my family business by James, actually. And they were like, hey, B&G's looking to really support diversity and equity and inclusion. They really want to build another woman business. Come holler at them. Let's talk to them and see, what they have. And they asked me right off the bat, what do you need? Where are you? How can we help you? And I didn't really have the answers at first, but I knew that I needed an industry mentor. I needed somebody who was in my trade, who could help me scale and grow this business and better understand it. I knew a lot of things, but I didn't really necessarily know how to grow an electrical contracting company. And so the next meeting we had, I was with a mentor. It was with Carolina Power and Chris Moore. They brought him to the table, they made the introduction, and then they really just spoke on my behalf and just said, I really want you to work with her and help her. And from that point forward, Chris and I met every single month. We still continue to meet. He's helped me to understand my financials from the industry's perspective. We talked about marketing, business development strategies, and built us up to the point where we got a small scope on a project down in Clemson. And so that was our first opportunity to really get our feet wet on a commercial project. We had predominantly been a residential company from the beginning. And so this was what we needed to, one, have the experience to be able to kick the tires to see if this is where we wanted to be with little risk. And I think that was the most important thing for B&G as well as for Carolina Power, was how do we put you in a position to succeed with as less risk as possible? And that is what I think helped us to boost our business confidently, to be able to say, oh, we can do this does work, and how do we get moving into the next step within our business?
I think the fun part about watching y'all's company is when we first were introduced to y'all, and it is a trust thing, right? Because you introduced us to Ebony, and we're talking to you and Cassie about it. We started to realize, hey, I can't get you to the next position. I can't get you to the next level, but Carolina Power can. So I think there's a whole different side of wisdom and trying to really think what's the best thing for you. It wasn't just attaching ourselves to your name or anything. It was really, how do we give you the best leg up, and at the same time continue to stay in a relationship. So it was fun for us to learn that along the way.
They still check in and make sure that things are still well. Is the relationship still going? So they didn't just drop me off and run away, right? It was like, hey, we want to help you. We want to continue to stay in touch with you. We want to watch you grow, be a part of your successes. And then once the opportunity presents itself for us to do direct work with one another, then I'll be ready, because they put me in a position to learn from one of their trusted partners. And so that's where we're building our relationship towards.
The outstanding nonprofit focuses on integrating diversity practices in the services provided to the community. Congratulations, Greenville Tech Foundation.
First, I'd like to thank the Riley Institute and the Greenville Chamber for sponsoring this event each year, especially the DLI class of 2004 who came up with this idea. I'm Ann Wright, and I am the Vice President for Advancement for the Greenville Tech Foundation. We exist to support the college's mission and to help our students succeed. We will be 50 years old next year. I'm a proud graduate of the Diversity Leadership Institute program, and I know what it means to really be and reflect diversity, equity, and inclusion in everything that we do. The African American Male Scholarship Initiative was actually started in 2018. The president of Greenville Technical College established a commission to study the persistence and retention rates of students. These subject matter experts did a comprehensive and thorough review and found something very stark, but not particularly unusual across the country. And that was that African American males consistently performed below any other group. For instance, when it came to persistence, which means staying from fall until spring, African American males were at 42%. Their white counterparts, 59%. So it was very clear to us that we needed to do something about that, and so the African American Male Scholars Initiative, AMSI, was begun. It was up to the foundation to raise the funds in order to start this program, and thanks to some very wonderful donors in this area, we were able to start the program in 2019, and we had 100 students. I'm proud to say that in 2 short years, the African American males in that program, their persistence rate was now 60% higher than their white male counterparts in just 2 years. So now we're going to raise more funds. The college is contributing millions of dollars in order for us to expand the program to 400. The program basically consists of wraparound services. In other words, it's a lot about school, but it's a lot about life and the challenges that, in particular, African American males face in order to succeed. 75% of them are first generation. Many of them are working, already have families. They've got to try to squeeze in school and still pay their bills. We can help them with many things, including car repairs, medical bills, rent, childcare. Any number of things could cause them to quit school because they have to take care of other priorities. So the program we know works, and we're planning to expand it. Thanks to our community support, we have many ways to get involved with the African American Male Scholars Institute. You can, of course, make a donation. It costs, on average, about $2,000 per student. That's direct and indirect costs, so you could sponsor a student. But even more important is if you could be a mentor. if you could come and speak at one of their lunch and learns. It's important for African American males to see people who look like them, who have succeeded. What did it take for them to succeed? Oftentimes, they've not met someone like that. The Greenville Tech Foundation is very involved in the community, and although our staff members are involved, as I am with the Chamber and others, we also have board members, and our board members are extremely involved in the community. This is how we leverage our network and extensions. Our board members represent companies. Many of them own their own companies. Many of them are former winners of this award. We also have board members who are affiliated with family foundations who are extremely supportive of education. We have board members who are connected with other organizations, such as the Greenville Housing Fund and the Greenville Area Development Corporation. So most of our partnerships is established by and through our board members. They serve as ambassadors. But we also work very closely, of course, with the college, and we have many, many partners. So many I'll forget someone, but I'll name a few. Certainly United Ministries, Miracle Hill, Goodwill, Fostering Great Ideas. Many of those organizations work with us because our students have had some affiliation with them. What's so nice about all of our community organizations and those who are there to help others is we partner a lot. We're able to figure out ways that we can help a person, and it really might take more than one of us. And obviously, education is in that picture. Greenville Technical College offers civil treatment training for all employees. Why do that? What's important about that? Well, it does a lot of things as it relates to how you behave, behavior in the workplace, and to really be thoughtful and mindful. I think of it like this: seek to understand first and then to be understood. It's amazing how many things can go sideways when we don't communicate. And there's a way to do that, and there's a way not to do that. And the program is a very, very good reminder of some of the things that we've always done, but it also shows us some of the things that perhaps we didn't realize we were doing. It's just natural to us. So it's a very great program. It's 8 hours in length, and we are required to take it once you're employed with the college. What we know about education is it's the great equalizer. When you have an education, you have opportunities, you have different doors to choose from, and we know that the more you got in terms of education, whether it's a certificate beyond high school, a 2-year degree, 4-year degree or beyond, education is key. And we know just from our own students that once you have completed Greenville Technical College, you have a chance of earning 20 to 40% more than without it. The other thing that I think is so important about having the Greenville Tech Foundation and the college here in Greenville is it's the only institution in Greenville County where there is no application requirement other than fill out the application. We accept everyone. It doesn't matter what you might need, at what place you're at. Most of our students are in their mid-20s. Most of them are working. And in fact, over 50% of them have experienced some sort of basic needs insecurity in the last 30 days. You can be a student who intends to transfer to a 4-year institution and get all your general studies out of the way. It's so important to give Greenville Technical College a try. We all know education empowers everyone.
And finally, we come to the Calder D. Ehrman Outstanding Individual Award. The namesake of this award has a very special place for me, as Calder was both a friend and a colleague. He was widely known as the diversity champion for his commitment to improving the lives of everybody in the community. Calder's last assignment in his distinguished 30-year career at Michelin North America was as Chief Diversity Officer. He up-launched the DLI program at the Riley Institute at Furman and served as a DLI Senior Associate following his retirement from Michelin in 2005. He helped lead the work of carefully crafting the mix of participants in each Upstate DLI class, evaluating numerous nominations and interviewing many potential class members, developing hundreds of leaders who would now share a unique on the value of a diverse community. Calder's lifetime of leadership and service has made our state a much better place to live and to work, and we're honored to celebrate his life through this. It is my great pleasure to announce Patrick Michaels, CEO of Goodwill Industries of the Upstate and Midlands, as the 2022 recipient of the Calder D. Ehrman Outstanding Individual Award.
I'm Patrick Michaels. I'm the president for Goodwill Industries of Upstate Midlands, South Carolina, and I've been in this role almost 15 years. Diversity and inclusion is an important aspect of all we do at Goodwill because Goodwill serves diverse communities and we serve diverse people. A lot of people know that you can drop stuff off at Goodwill and we'll sell that, but maybe a lot of people don't know that Goodwill helps people with barriers to employment either find jobs or skills that lead to better jobs and even careers. In many cases, those people represent very diverse populations, and our diversity and inclusion efforts are really designed to make sure that we have intentional on-ramps for people to access the economic power of work. And we provide those services not only for people in the community, but for our over 800 associates as well. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is a very important part of our organizational values and our approach to connecting with our associates at all levels. The power of work has been a Goodwill tagline for all of my 15 years here in Greenville and all of my almost 29 with the Goodwill movement somewhere in the United States. And probably a lot of us may have played on a team or been with a group, and when the team clicked and the group worked together well, there was a certain pride, a sense of self-efficacy in creating something that was bigger than yourself and maybe something that was really valuable to another person. We want every job seeker, every person who would like to increase their educational attainment, who lives in the Upstate and Midlands, to experience the power of work and the sense of pride and self-efficacy that go with that. Goodwill's training programs exist to help people who don't have a job but want one to get a job, people who have a job but want a better one to get a better job, and people who are looking for a career to get access to careers as well. Along with our partners, Goodwill provides case management, certified training often provided by a technical college, and opportunities for job placement subsequent to training program completion. So we offer CDL programs, CNA programs, as well as manufacturing certificate programs throughout our service area in the Upstate and Midlands. I'm honored to be selected as the Calder Ehrman Diversity Champion for this year, and I'm especially pleased to be associated with Calder. I remember 10 years ago sitting down to lunch with him at City Range and hearing about his vision and his passion for DEI. Since Goodwill serves diverse communities and a diverse population, in many cases, people who we serve have been told in no uncertain circumstances that what they have to offer is not wanted. And our DEI work at Goodwill is designed to create intentional on-ramps so that people can access the power of work and get the opportunity to create the lives for them and their families that they want.
What a wonderful group of individuals and organizations. Congratulations to each of you. Congratulations. The Riley Institute is grateful to our friends at the Greenville Chamber for remaining committed to this celebration over 18 years and recognizing the importance that diversity plays in the success of our community and our economy. On a closing note, I'd like to invite you to visit the Riley Institute's website to learn more about our work, as well as our work with public education and other critical issues. Thank you so much.
Well, Summit guests, I want to say thank you to Don for helping us reflect intently on today's Summit experience by recognizing amazing change makers in our community. Thank you so much for doing that. And for our Summit guests, that's going to wrap us up here. We're summing everything up together right now in this moment. And as we come to a close It has been my honor to serve for the third consecutive year as the MC of the Greenville Chamber's DEI Summit Change Makers. And before we go any further, I want to make sure you pay attention to that declaration. And we have part 1 and 2, and with a definition that we provided, and we hope that you will take and make it a part of your world and your everyday, is a change maker is one that can make the future course different from what it would be if it were left alone, bringing something into existence by shaping and combining parts in order to produce and cause to exist. You are a change maker, I'm a change maker, and together we can shape something beautiful. And so after today, each one of you will receive an email with a survey. And we value your feedback, and we cannot stress enough the importance of this feedback that you'll provide, because that helps us to do continuous improvement. And thank you in advance when you take your time to respond, because we want to say thank you. It means so much to us. We thank you in advance. So on behalf of the Greenville Chamber, I'd like to once again thank the following: all the sponsors. Virtual round of applause for them, especially our presenting sponsor, Michelin North America. All the keynote presenters and worship facilitators, workshop facilitators, please put that in the queue there into the chat. Thank you to them, all of them. Name them, share their information, push that out on your social channels. And then the workshop moderators who are listening intently, paying attention, learning as they're taking notes so that they can share and keep things moving along. And Blue Sky, our virtual conference platform partner. Without them, wow, I don't know what we would do. Thank you guys so much. And Peculiar, our marketing partner. And each of you, that's the big one. Our guests who dedicated time today to be a part of this conference experience. We are so grateful for you and so thankful. And we know that today will mark and make something different in each of us. And we hope that we can inspire others to participate in such a great, not just work, but a lifestyle, to do this, to make the difference that we would like to see in this world. Wishing all of you a healthy season ahead, and hope you will join us again next year. Thank you so much.